Hello,
Hi.
welcome once again. My name is Brian Geary. I'm a communications director at Pearson College, UWC. I'm pleased today to be joining you from our campus on the unceded territory of the Chiano First Nation. And I'm particularly pleased to be able to speak with my guest today, Haseen Fatma Amini. Haseen is a young woman, a UWC student originally from Afghanistan, who today is joining us from Madrid, Spain. Haseen, welcome. Thank you very, very much for taking the time to join us. We're going to be talking about a number of topics in this interview, but first, can you tell us a little bit about your previous UWC college experience?
Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much, Mr. Brian, for inviting me. It's an honor to be on this conversation today with you. Thank you so much. And I also appreciate your all efforts that you're putting in. So moving on your question, it's a really nice question. It's from where my life started, another new journey. So I remember I was Afghan Peace Volunteer since 2017, and I was we were like all youths. We were having an organization where we will always, like, every weekend we were working for peace. We had projects and stuff, and there we were like having youth, so we had lots of discussion, friends, like a big network every day. There I met like a couple of friends. We were discussing about the scholarships, and I was always on top, like searching for scholarships, for better opportunities. And like, friend of mine said, Haseen, like, have you ever heard about UWC? A friend of mine have been to UWC, and she has changed her life a lot. She is a very successful girl now, and this is a very interesting journey for her. So maybe you can also try, because you're also 11th grade student. So if you are interested, just go for it. So basically, she just told me the experience of her, and that she had been there. And with her conversation, then I heard that what she has gone through, and there is something with the name of UWC, and it's a scholarship. So if students are poor, they cannot afford, but they are providing a scholarship. So when I went home, she told me about it is UWC. I never knew how many branches and everything they have, but I just went home and I Googled it, I searched it, like I got with so many other branches in different countries, and I was so happy. In the beginning, I didn't know. I thought like maybe it is one school in US or somewhere, but then I was so fond of it, because it says that it's a force to unite people from different nations, like for educational part, and also for which symbolize peace. So it really caught my eye, since I was also working with Afghan peace volunteers. Then I joined it. So this was the thing that I applied. Like, I applied for UWC Journey, and I didn't believe that I'm going to be shortlisted among all country, that there are lots of interested people to apply. And then when I got shortlisted, I remember at midnight, I woke up my mom, I have gotten. And like, my mom was like, did you dream? I said like, no, seriously, I have gotten. And then everyone was so happy for me. And it was a very supportive support from my family, because in Afghanistan, most of people doesn't allow their kids to go abroad. But I was so fortunate in this spot, when my mother understood that what is my future plans and what I want to do in the future. So they give me this opportunity. I'm highly thankful to everyone, and also especially UWC.
You're so fortunate to have a supportive family in that respect, and that makes all the difference for so many UWC students. You did attend UWC Mostar for a period of time, and it seems like you met a number of students there who have become sort of, let's call them lifelong friends, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had wonderful time at UWC Mostar, but yeah, I was almost like studying there for 7 months. But I faced a couple of problems, when like quarantine was something that happened very suddenly. No one knew about COVID-19. No one had any idea. So it happened very fast, and no one knew about that. So we had an emergency situation to be sent to our own houses, like our own countries, home back. And then we thought that it's going to be temporary, but we see that COVID-19 is still grounded. So I went back, and also for that sake of quarantine, my visa also expired that I had from Bosnia and Herzegovina. So one side was quarantine, the other was the visa. And the other problem I faced is that they wanted me to repeat a year if I gonna come next year. So that's why I needed more funds for that, which I didn't had. So it means like I had to rejoin UWC, and it needed a lot of fund. And I was from a poor financial background, and I couldn't find this fund. So that was like all happened. I remember I applied for so many places for funds. I was struggling. And then it was a moment that suddenly when I went to Afghanistan, there was a very big explosion like in our town, like in our area, which is called Barchi. So there was like a hospital, like there were lots of newborn babies and mothers, like pregnant women. And that explosion happened. And like I was coming from a peaceful country, then I went to my country with a war. And like it was so horrible for me. I tried my best not to stop. Like I faced this fundraising problem. So I rejoined my school in Afghanistan, which was like the 12th grade. I rejoined it inside the Shahada High School, but there again, I faced explosion in my school as well. So these are our obstacles. And then later we face terrorists coming and attacking to all Afghanistan.
I know that you've recounted your story to many people around the world and to many news media outlets, but could you just tell us briefly the situation in Kabul that enabled you to eventually get on, I believe it was it a Spanish aircraft, and to leave the country together with some members of your family? If you could just take us through that very briefly.
Exactly. So as we know that Afghanistan have been in war for 40 years, and the worst scenario was in 2001, and also, or maybe before that I was not born obviously, but and also in this year 2021 that we face much more civil war. So getting out of Afghanistan was such a terrible experience for me, because we never knew what's going to happen. Before Taliban arrived, like everything was normal, but every day we were having explosions in city of Kabul. Like they blasted our sport club, they blasted our hospital, they blasted my school where I was studying. Like we faced 3 explosions in my school. And like we were like, in my school, the students are 16,000 students, but like half of them is like coming in the morning shift are boys, and in the evening are girls. And in girls' school, it happened. So it's so horrible for me. Like my classmates were died, such a horrible experience. And then like there were like no hope that how we're gonna go through the coming situations, that every day getting worse and worse, especially like other provinces of Afghanistan was in war, and Kabul and Panjshir in some minor other provinces were remaining. But then like I remember the day the terrorists arrived, like I was in an office having in an interview with UK TV channel. Like we were discussing about current situations, and like it was my turn to speak. And then as soon as I was speaking in my turn, suddenly the terrorists arrived. And like my friend who was just next to me was like shouting on me that Haseen, you have to please the channel, and you have to go, you have to run. And I said like, maybe he's joking. I said like, because no one expected this. So and quickly. Then it happened. Exactly. So we had lots of way to reach home. We were like thinking the first priority was, if everything gonna be shut down, at least we have to be within our families. So let's run. And like what we do, as I remember my friend was telling me, we have to burn our documents now, because if we don't do that, and the terrorist team, if they know that we are activists or journalists or other people who have been working in different international organizations, so if they caught this, we are going to be killed. So let's burn our like documents. It was so heart touching for me. Like I have earned these documents for many years. I have been working from 2017 till now for peace, always saying that we are going to have peace, but we are ending up with force of weapon. It was so heart touching for me, but we try to be within our families. And also the chaos in the airport, it was so disgusting. lots of people were climbing the wings of the airport, the wings of the airlines. You have seen that the news gonna show that how terrible it is. But on the other hand, it was because people were so much terrified and still they want to escape Afghanistan because they are all engineers, doctors, students, teachers. There is no hope for them. There is no peace. There is no economical status, educational status. So this is what makes them worried, and they're having all their documents just to move on, just to get out of the country, to rebuild their house and to rebuild their lifestyles. But the thing is even if those who have been succeed to come to other countries, some of them doesn't know that where the future gonna hold them, what they're gonna struggle from financial or maybe from language part of view, or like everything is so difficult, but they never choose to be refugee themselves. This is what the circumstances has given us. Yeah. So this is the experience that at the airport in the chores, like I was like, for 1 week, I was struggling to get in the airport to the main gate, but we didn't succeed because there were some filters, filter A, filter B, and C. The C one was the main gate where the soldiers were there, international soldiers, but point A and point B were all terrorist filters that we had to pass. I have seen in the chores that a small kid, just like 6 months, that was died, and like because of the chores and the hot weather, like everyone was just attached with each other. Like there was no place, you cannot eat, you cannot sleep, there is no facilities. So it was very horrible for me. It's still my heart, my eyes and my heart hurts about it. So it was very terrible. But till a time that after 4 times of struggling and going to the airport and being backed from the force of terrorists, finally we made this attempt with the help of American and Canadian soldiers and also connections that we had. So we reached to the gate, and like Spanish NATO helped us to be rescued. And then we came to Dubai and also to Spain. And I'm so thankful to the government of Spain for evacuating us.
It is truly an incredible story, and it humanizes the experience that so many of us have seen online and on our television news programs as well. It's almost unimaginable for many of us over here unless you've experienced it. Now, I believe there were a number of alumni, former students from UWC students who assisted you throughout this process, and they worked with you and your family as well. Could you just talk about them for a moment or two?
Of course. So first I want to say each one of my friends, especially 6 friends of mine, each of them are diamonds because they never sleep. They never said there is no hope. They always were motivating me. So it started when I was scared about the current situation of Afghanistan when other provinces have been undertaken. And like, I was really worried about our situation, and I was thinking of myself, my activities. I never thought that it's going to be more worse than this situation. I was one or a couple of days before the terrorist arrival to attack to Kabul. I was talking with a friend of mine, Pablo, and I was saying that, Pablo, these are the situations that making me every day much more worried. What should I do? What do you think? What can we do? Like, the situation is getting more worse. And then he said, like, Haseen, maybe I can help you like with the flight tickets, or maybe we start fundraising, or maybe getting some visa. I already had applied for visa, like for Pakistan visa, and I got it. And he said, like, I will arrange some flight tickets for you. And we were like talking about actions that being taken in a week, but we never imagined that tomorrow I'm going to get awake and I'm going to face terrorists. So this is one thing that we were looking for a week timeline, but tomorrow everything just happened. And then we had to look for some emergency evacuation, some other options. So but then after, like, me and Pablo, we were the first person like lighting up a candle, and then like in a darkness that we have no idea where are we going. So I was like on the ground. The experience was much more practical and much more pressure on me. And also I was thinking that, Haseen, it's okay if you won't just only think about yourself, then what will happen to your family who are behind, would be behind left? And like, what's going to happen to them if the terrorists couldn't find you, but they are going to probably find your family and going to have something. So what I had to do, I had to like grab all my family member with me wherever I go. So there were also some circumstances that me and my brother had the visa for Pakistan. There was a very tough decision. Should I go with my brother alone, or should I take my mother and 3 years old brother with me? Like, there were lots of circumstances, pressures on me, but being a family supporter is very tough. But then they really helped me in a way that me and Pablo were one, but later on when we start some posts on Facebook and like our network become much more bigger, as big as possible, we had some different fundraising people that till now even I don't know who were them, but for sake of humanity they were helping us. There were some more connections from governments as well. There was connections from families as well, that from especially from UWC community members. I really appreciate it. And after Pablo, some other friends, they also been included in the group of 6. That it was like another friend, David came, and then others, and like gradually all of them. So it was very urgent moment, and there was a group of 6. We really worked hard. I was always keeping them updated, and they were telling me that which are the possible ways, which are not the possible ways, which are not. And like sometimes they were coming to me that, Haseen, you have this, you have got this document, let's go to the airport. And I was going to the airport, but that documents were not valid in a way that they needed the original passports, the original visas instead of documents and job experience and stuff. But we faced lots of rejections. This was one of the biggest challenges. And after all that rejections, we got into a success. So this is all a very big journey that I just wanted to make it much more short. Like, there was time zone difference between Asia and Europe and like other countries. For example, like one friend of mine, Lola, she was from Singapore, and the time difference, like everything was so different for us, especially in Europe. Like it was day here, night here. So they were always working hard every day, trying every possible way in terms of fundraising, in terms of looking for flight tickets, in terms of having communication with families, with governmental staff and everything. But like finally a parliament member really helped me, a Spanish parliament member really helped me to be evacuated, like with the with Spanish airlines. And also it was the soldiers airlines, so it was something very in emergent moment. And also there was help of Canadian people and also the Americans. So my list, we applied for India visa, we applied for Pakistan visa, we applied for P1 visa, which was still in process. But so other countries as well, most of them were welcoming, also from France. So these friends, they really helped a lot, and still they are helping me with other processes in educational way and other upcomings.
I will mention too that we will link to the story that was published in an Australian magazine about the 6 friends who helped you and continue to work with you. So we will make that available to anyone watching this broadcast as well. Now, you and your family are safe for the time being in Madrid, and you're doing well?
Yes, it was such a good experience. Like, we were so much tired, without any sleep, without any food, and we just landed to Spain. And the Ministry officer of Defense in Spain, she came and welcomed us. It was such a nice, when I saw her, it was such a nice experience that I was feeling a very nice peace. And then after that, the Red Cross, UNHCR, Refugee Affairs, they all welcome us, and we had some COVID tests and stuff. We are now very happy, and we are safe in Spain. We are safe in Spain, but we also are looking forward for our asylum processes. And also I have applied for my UWC journey again to continue my studies. And I also applied for many UWCs, and some of them were possible, some of them were already started with the schooling. So finally, I was so lucky that UWC Canada gave me this acceptance letter, and like it was the best experience. It was the best news ever for me. And like, I was so happy because they lighten up my educational pathway. And UWC is a mission for me. It symbolizes peace and towards a sustainable peace. And I really want to go through these studies of experiencing UWC experience. And then after that, also following up towards my vision. And so this is a very good opportunity for me. And then what happened is this, we also like looking forward for our asylum process. So my family also gonna be here. So we are happy here. Thank you.
Well, we are certainly looking forward to welcoming you to our campus here on the west coast of Canada. And I know that a number of UWC colleges, as well as the international organization of the UWC, are doing fundraising efforts to, they're calling it UWC for Afghan Youth. And all of us collectively and individually at individual colleges are working very, very hard to raise funds and also provide the tangible information that young Afghan students need to be able to attend UWCs now and hopefully in the future as well. So that's an ongoing effort. And we'll also link to that initiative in this story as well. Now, I understand as well that you had a chance to help support the UWC for Afghan Youth the other day as well. You were, did you tape a piece for them, record a piece for them?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for this question. It's really a pleasure to be part of this movement. And yes, I was like also being admin in one of Facebook pages where we have Afghan students who wants to apply for upcoming application process for UWC. I have always seen them, how interested they are, how hardworking they are for being eligible for UWC. But the main problem is with funding. Most of the times students being rejected due to the funds. So it's really big action that if we all together help Afghan students financially so they can start their studies. And like, I believe that if today we are like paying even €1 or $1, it can have a huge impact on a person's life. Because today, if they are going to be illiterate, the only way to save Afghanistan is to educate them. For example, I believe that today, if I cannot help Afghanistan, but maybe one day as an Afghan, I become like through path of education, I become a great leader for my country. And once I go to my country, be positive there. And also like, I hope in future, if not now, but to have an Afghan president, to see an Afghan president, to see a huge change in a big term vision. So helping Afghani students really matters. And we should take action today for supporting them. We have such a big network all around the world. And Afghanistan, I really like dream for this, that one day we could have UWC branch in Afghanistan, but due to uncertain situation, we cannot have it. At least we can have students from Afghanistan so we can support them and they can build some courses, international courses there, or maybe in future UWC branch as well. Yeah, I was like preparing some of the videos that gonna be published and like contacting with other UWC students, alumni students who like within our network that who are interested, and for short videos to motivate, to boost up this fundraising link, so we can get more students for this movement. And UWC really matters for them, and this is a mission for them to go and to be supported for their educational pathway.
You also, I guess, had a chance to speak to your previous school. You spoke to UWC Mostar Assembly yesterday, I believe.
Exactly. So these days I have been very crowded with some news interviews. So it's fine. But my first interview was like a couple of interviews with UK TV channel. And then we had like with UWC community interviews and French radio interview, Spanish news interview, as well as some upcomings as well. So also there was a documentary made before the terrorist arrival, like 2 days or couple of days before that. We made a documentary, like the journalists of Italy help us on making that. So these are all things that I feel today, I what I'm speaking, if I'm having this freedom of speech, what I'm doing is this: I'm just trying to be voice of Afghanistan. I'm just trying to be voice of women. I'm just trying to be a voice of kids, street kids, and the people who have been left behind. I really feel sad about it, because like not only my family, there are all nation left behind. So how, like for example, like how can we help other people who have got all the documents, who have been working with different organizations, who have been an active women empowerment activists, journalists, doctors, engineers? They are left behind. How can we evacuate them? It's very tough, but we are hopeful for like after airport solution, that maybe we can also continue our help to them as well. And but like I have seen is still like a best friend of mine, like who was having lots of work experience with international organizations, and but they have been hurt by terrorists, they have been beaten, they have been abused. But these are all the bad situations that happening, and it's due to the fact. So what can we do is maybe we can help them by fundraising. Maybe we can help as an international global network to them.
You really have become a very powerful and eloquent voice for education of young people, not only in Afghanistan, but around the world, in areas where they have restricted or less access for education, particularly for girls. So I really appreciate what you've been saying, but I want to say to you, take care of your health as well. You've been so busy and you've talked to so many people. Don't forget to take care of your own health, please.
No, thank you so much. I'm like, before that, there was like much more war pressure. We were so much in a way that mentally we were not having peace. Like mentally we were always disturbed. But now I'm trying all my best to have like good management, and hopefully I can come through all of the interviews. It's like either rebuilding my life and everything I'm going through, but like it's all a great experience. I'm so happy. If today I'm here, why me? Why should I be here? Like if I'm here today, I have to follow the pathway of education to help others left behind, to help in any way to them, other Afghani students especially. So that's why I have been working very hard. And like in Afghanistan, when I was there, I wanted to serve the nation by serving the education. So that's why I was there working as a teacher. I work at like in Kabul University. There was an organization from US, like it was Lincoln Learning Centers. And like I was US Embassy alumni. So what I was doing, that I was always volunteering, being senior volunteer. We were working in different projects. We were working for peace. We were working for girls' rights to education. We were working for anti-drugs campaigns. Lots of projects we did. Lots of leadership trainings. I was training other students as well. I remember like I was in 10th class, and like my teacher was saying that, Haseen, you're a student of grade 10 in the school. How can you go and teach university students? And like I said, like a teacher it's okay, but I think like maybe they need more help in English language. So that's why I'm not that much professional as well, but till one stage I can help them. So being teaching them, it was really good experience. And last year I was working with Foreign Languages Institute, which is called Elite Institute. We were like teaching different languages, Chinese, Russian, French, and I was like basically teaching English and also like working as like recent working as a marketing manager. So it was such a great journey. But this all changed after terrorists, and there was no hope, and everything is shut down now. So we don't know which instruction is gonna be, but what's gonna happen to street kids like whom I was working for them, for their projects, for their support. I lost their contacts because they were street kids having no facilities, no mobile phones, and in such tough times, I can just pray for them. And I'm always trying to keep my connections to Afghanistan, especially with the street kids. And also I was an activist with like empowering women. And so these all like, I really feel very responsible. When my students message me back, teacher, can you evacuate us? Like, I have no answer for them. Like volunteers who've been working, my colleagues, everyone, my family, everyone, like, what was the secret of your being evacuated? How did you succeed? What are the links that we can go through? How you can like help us financially and everything. So it's really, so just wrapping up because like, I don't know how much time we have. So with lots of this experience that we had, with lots of, like my teacher also says that Haseen, you're small in height, but your documents are more than your height. This is that why my teacher always says and said like, Haseen, if I had these documents before, I would never be here. I said like, where should I go? Like with these documents. So that this is what like, I really feel happy. I really feel proud that Afghan students continue to their educational pathway. So I really feel this is what actually we should do for Afghanistan. This is what we have to rebuild Afghanistan. It's not only just me or some Afghans to rebuild. It is something globally that together as a team, we can get to a very bright future. Thank you for asking.
That's a very powerful statement, because I'm afraid we do have to end the interview right about now. But Haseen, I know personally I'm looking forward to meeting you in person when you get to the Pearson campus. I know many people here are aware of your story, and many people here have been working hard to try and support you throughout this. So fingers crossed that everything goes well. Is there anything else you'd like to say? Have we missed anything before we go? If not, just say.
Thank you so much for inviting me for this session. And also, I had my COVID vaccine before this interview as well. So if I was like a bit out of track, so please apologize. Thank you so much, really. I'm highly thankful to you and UWC person especially. You know, UWC person, like when there was no hope for me, they have given me this hope that there is still opportunities. I'm always worried about my financial aid. So wherever I apply, I just like, oh, how can I afford this like from a financial way? What can I do? How like this and that? So they have like really taken off that the stress from me by providing me scholarship. And I promise to be a positive family member of UWC person. I'm just hoping for soonest process of my visa application. And I would really love to be there and see everyone there. And if UWC community is hearing my voice, thank you so much. Thank you so much. A big thank you for each and every one, internationally, globally, that if you are supporting Afghans, this is not only Afghans, this is about the future of all countries around the world. Because if today Afghanistan is in war, it's not just affecting us, it's affecting in a globally. If it is about environmental way, if it is about the mental way, if it is war, it is economically, it is what have been experienced by everyone. All the TV channels are like headlines Afghanistan. So you experience this. If you have heard this, if you have hearing from your TV channels or from your social medias, this is the time to have your part. This is the time for an action. This is the time where you can save someone's life.
We will certainly be working hard to spread this interview around as much as possible. And
Thank you
again,
so much.
many, many thanks for taking the time to talk to us, Haseen. Yeah, and I do mean it very sincerely. Please take care of yourself and mind your good health as you work to be a force for peace, as you
Thank you
already
so
are.
much.
All right. Thank you
It's a
very much.
pleasure for being in this interview.
Thank you, and good fortune to you.